Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness? Yes, how can I help you, Mr. Judge? Well, it seems if we're to learn the truth, willing to hear your testimony. I've no problem with that, but when you've seen what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown. In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about the plan that was carried out that night. Hey guys, you made me next and bring us some more things, right? Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. In the last part, we found out that Iris actually wasn't Iris, but in fact, it was Dario Hawthorne this entire time. Wow. And we're gonna hear what she has to say. The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. Before it to work, my Fay would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have to blame pinned on Iris. The plan went wrong, and it seems to have succeeded anyway. So that means... Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fay? Yes. You have a problem with that? Don't give us nonsense. There's no way that... Watch yourself, Trite. If you got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's my rule. Mr. Gordo is correct. And by the way, that's my rule as well. To kill Maya could be true. I wouldn't put it past her. I mean, this woman is literally like worse than the devil. Like, you can't trust anything that comes out of her mouth. You were executed last month, correct? Yes, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant. No, I wouldn't imagine it. How did you manage to discuss this plan? When did you talk to Morgan Fay? Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row and she was my mother, it was actually pretty easy to meet with her. I see. So that's when you discussed your plan. Are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well. Even though I'm her own daughter. All to make Pearl the master of QA. She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister, Misty, took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan. A plan, huh? You're talking about Pearl Fay, is that correct? Yes, though at first she had high hopes for the two of us. You and your twin sister Iris. That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had much spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her, along with our father. Abandoned? The only person I ever really cared about in life was myself. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at the old temple. You mean Iris? Yes, my father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general. Wow. Yeah, that is pretty shit. The real horrible one was that woman, that bitter, vengeful woman. Your entire family, except for Pearl and maybe Iris, you're just as twisted as your father and your mother, mate. Come on, like, she was born with an abundance of spiritual power. Unfortunately for her, Morgan Fay heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto that poor child's back, all because of her pathetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family. But for it to work, my Fay would have to die first. Maya would have to die, but why? For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master, the remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of. But Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya. How sad. You still don't get it, do you? What Pearls wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all. That's ridiculous. She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter. And naturally, the life of Maya Fey as well. How could anyone do that? Man, Morgan Fey is a horrible woman. you, you were going to kill Maya? Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in the letter and channeled me. Then, I would have simply used her body and finished the job. In any case, I'm already dead, and there's nothing any of you can do to me. So the plan was to blame the crime on your younger sister, on Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. She and I look absolutely identical. No one can tell us apart. If someone were to witness me killing Maya, naturally they would think it was Iris that had done it. And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini. I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway. But why did you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she? She doesn't care. Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her. Backstabber? You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway. You think the plan was a success? You heard me. Just that woman had hoped. Maya Fey is dead. Now the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fey. That's absurd. Maya's she's just trapped inside the sacred cavern. Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you, my darling Feeny? Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your sniveling naivety and your pathetic faith in other people. I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fey's plan? I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value, other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of. If that's how you feel, why did you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya? You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that. So tell me, why? Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction. What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Hawthorne, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead? Obviously, it's because you were helping Morgan Fey. Helping? Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious. So she wasn't cooperating with Morgan. She was just using Morgan and her plans so she could accomplish her own goal. All I wanted to do was kill Maya Fey. That was the only way I could think of to get revenge. Revenge? Looks like I have no choice but to present that piece of evidence. I can't believe it. She meant to kill Maya. I've got to keep a cool head. And I need to get more information out of her. It's the only way to understand this plan and what she was after. Oh! Her goal was Do you understand why I would kill my Faye now? What my goal was? Oh! The reason why she wanted to kill my Faye is because of her sister. She wanted revenge. That your actual goal had nothing to do with my Faye herself. As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore because I'm already dead. Omae wa mou shinderu. Well, I had the same problem. You see, you can't punish the dead, but you can take revenge against them. But you can't take revenge against them either. You wanted to take revenge on someone? I was sentenced to die because of that woman, Mia Fey. I somehow knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up. And the reason it was impossible was because Mia Fey had already died. Yes. And I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead. And how do you do that? Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans. For that. For that you would kill Maya. Your goal was no different than that of Morgan Fey. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from a tree. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless. Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you there's not a thing you can do to me. That night, at about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up, put on that demon warding hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple. So it was at least the Nim who channeled her after all. That ridiculous head nod never noticed a thing. Man, that that animation was not very flattering on her. She did you see like her face was like wobbling? Her cheeks were like she left Maya in the temple. I walled back, clutching her, pulled back. What did you do then? That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom. Then you say you stabbed Maya? That's not possible. Strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. What does that mean? No clear memory. I don't know. I think I was stabbed. You were stabbed? At the last minute, my Faye must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it. That's not like her. Maya wouldn't stab a french fry with a plastic fork. Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. Before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I had hoped it would cast suspicion on her. I can't believe she was thinking of that until the bitter end. She's already dead, so it doesn't, that's when my memory temporarily stops. It stops? I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own two hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern, surrounded by darkness. You were in the sacred cavern? The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow I had been trapped in there. But how did you wind up there? I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya was dead. And I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I had killed her. So she was actually she was actually in hell. Is that what she was saying? Well, that's fitting. I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't get out. The triglet stopped you, huh? I didn't know how to remove it. So then you're saying you were actually confined against your will inside the sacred cavern? Yes, I wanted to get rid of the annoying lock as soon as possible, but it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it. Interrupted? It was early in the morning, but someone came into the training hall. What? Who? Could it have been Maya? I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see. Why not? If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the secret cavern. This morning, only 2 people could have got into the training hall. Maya and Pulse. Pulse went there to cover the hanging scroll in gravy. Still, I finally managed to remove the lock, but I was too late. What do you mean by that? The flies had already started to gather. The bridge had been fixed. Naturally, I couldn't go out, so instead I returned to the cavern and put the lock back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I had hoped, but just then, Lady Luck showed up. Lady Luck? After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself. Iris. The real Iris. She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cavern was alright. Stupid girl. I came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. I'd finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded. What do you mean your plan had succeeded? I'd understood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me. I'd assumed it was Pearl's fate. Well, of course, you would have assumed that it was written in the instructions, but I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back. Misty Faye, the picture book author. After I lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. Maya Faye. I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit. And that is matricide. The sin of killing her own mother. Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of this? It's true that I was the one who attacked Maya Faye. And even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Missy Faye's life was none other than your darling little Maya. Ridiculous! That's nonsense. Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there? What? What do you mean? What is this so-called evidence? The fact that Maya Faye has disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it? Huh? The idea that she's still in Sacred Cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from in the temple. That much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be. Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of the Eagle River. Where else? Eagle River? Maya Faye killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that? That's why she threw herself into Eagle River. Most bodies that wind up in there are lost forever. Damn, this got dark really quickly. So what do you have to say now? Feeny. Ooh, uh, oops. Sorry, that's my phone. What kind of ringtone is that? It's a pretty jazzy ringtone. Dodo here. Dude, we're in the middle of a court case. What the hell? What? Was it something important? They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cabin. That's great. What about Maya? There was a woman in that cave. It wasn't Maya today. It was the accused, Sister Iris. Yep. Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just got finished you telling you that. So, what about Maya? Where is she? There's no one else found inside the sacred cabin. No, it can't be. I think there's a reason why she's here. And it's kind of silly to think that. And I think there's one aspect that not a lot of people are really thinking about. How is she here? Because she's dead, right? And the only people that can channel her is one, Misty Face dead. Pearls, we know where she is. She's nowhere near here. How is she here? That's the thing. I think a lot of people. I think people are forgetting the fact, like, how is Iris still here? No, how is Dahlia? Sorry, how is Dahlia here? Like, someone has to. No, she didn't. No, she. Come on, Phoenix. This is just think for like 1 minute. Just think for like 10 seconds. Have you heard this one? Once you eliminate the possibility, whatever remains must be the truth, no matter how improbable it may seem. What is that supposed to mean, Professor Godo? Professor, what? He's not. I've been playing too much Pokemon. Prosecutor Godo. According to the witness, she didn't. Is that really the truth? Yeah, it's just a guess. Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place. Which means if Maya had thrown herself into the river, it must have been from the central side. That's right. That's where she jumped from. Nope. But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there. Don't get your passes all 20s all twisted up, right? Just relax and think of the whole thing again. So it's impossible. Maya couldn't have thrown herself into Eagle River. She claims. Go ahead and look at the map. If you look at the map, I'm gonna check it myself. It's impossible. Look, if you look at the bridge, Heavenly Hall, and it's in the middle of Harry Hall. If you look at the bridge, look, there's all this rock face here before you get it. Unless she's like superhuman and she somehow jumped over the rock face below and into the water, she couldn't have done it. It's impossible to jump into the Eagle River from the temple side. No one knows that better than this witness. You jumped into the phone. Yeah, you did. Just take a look at this overhead map. As you can see, below the cliff of the inner temple is a big rock shelf. Right. She couldn't have reached the river if she had only jumped from there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo. So you finally figured it out. Yeah, she's still alive. She didn't jump. Order. You're just playing with me. My face body is at the bottom of the Eagle River. There's nowhere else you could be hiding. Miss Hawthorne, have you heard of this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Yes, just a few minutes ago. My Faye wasn't inside the secret cavern. We know that she didn't throw herself into the Eagle River. Alright. That limits all the possibilities, all the likely possibilities. Well, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be. What? What is this one possibility you're talking about? That's always bluff. So where is a dead body then? Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. Normally the living have no way to punish the dead. But I think there is a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Should I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Should I tell you where she is? She's in this very courtroom! Namely, she's right here. Dahlia Hawthorne, I seem to recall that you said, I misunderstood one thing, you see. So what? I think there's one more thing you misunderstood. What do you mean? Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne? Which is the question I was asking 5 minutes ago! No, it isn't. You're wrong. Pearls tried, but she couldn't do it. Someone else was already channeling the spirit. Someone called me before Pearl did. But who? Pearl's even tried again on the day after the crime, but she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clearer to you right about now. Am I correct? It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. There was someone else that could. There was someone who called you before she could. It's Maya. This is an easy one. Pearl's gonna do it. Misty Faye's gone. There's only one possibility left, which I said earlier. I can't stand this tension. It's not really tension to me because I already know. That was pretty obvious. Like, that was pretty obvious. Like, the question that was always kind of like, how if she is Dahlia Hawthorne and Iris was just found right now, right? Who is channeling her? It's one other. It's Maya Faye. But if Maya channeled the spirit of someone that was trying to kill her, well, Gramps, what would happen? Could it be? Looks like you finally understand, Your Honor. Well, I don't. What are you going on about? What I'm going on about is the reason Maya challenged you, and there's only one reason: to protect herself from you. To protect herself from me? Yes. On the night of the crime, you were the only one. You were only interested in one thing: killing Maya Faye. The path to the inner temple was closed off. There was nowhere for her to run. So then the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide? You mean that she channeled me? All along, you thought you had been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you. She's all out of sorts. You're saying that I was played for a fool by that little whelp? Maya Faye killed herself. Isn't it obvious? Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into the Eagle River. This was the only avenue of escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from the inner temple. I don't believe you. I don't believe this. A stupid little girl like that, who has never been out in the real world, she could have never come up with a plan like that. Who could have given her such a brilliant idea? Well, me, of course. Mia! Mia Fey? It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. So it's true. It's you. It was you. You're something else. But, but what are you doing here? The hair. Pearls, right? To me, something... Why does, like, channeling someone change your entire body shape? I don't get how... And your hair and stuff like that. Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to that night. You had just cornered Maya in the inner temple garden. And then, in the final moments of the fight, you lost consciousness. I was stabbed by Maya Fey. Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you. She did? Not terribly surprising, since she was about to be killed. When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help. So she channeled me. She explained in a memo that the situation she was in. She asked me what I thought she should do. She did that. I can't believe it. Of course, I didn't have all the details, but one thing was perfectly clear. And that was, I know that you couldn't be allowed to wander free. Free? What do you mean? It was a race against time, so I wrote down 2 things that Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived. So it was Maya who put that lock there. Yes, but why did you order her to do those 2 things? If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Fey. Pearls. Yes, Pearl didn't properly understand the plan, so all she was trying to do was follow her mother Morgan Fey's instructions. If she had succeeded in channeling Dahlia's spirit, things would have turned out very bad, to put it mildly. So that's how it was. Dahlia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Fey, so to kill Maya at all costs. Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent all along. How dare you? I won't forget this. Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure. Yes, another failure to add to a pile of shame, wouldn't you say? What do you mean by another? Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure. What? How dare you? 11 years ago, the fake kidnapping, the very first crime. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond, but after Terry Falls escaped and went to meet Valerie Hawthorne, the truth was exposed. Shut your mouth! That wasn't my fault! It was because of that stupid oath of a prisoner that weakling of a woman. What I forgot what he said. And then 1 year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but you wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. There was one stupid move after another for you, but it's no longer funny. You wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky face, smile off your face. And now this. You've messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape, even though she was right in front of you. Mia Fey. Mia Fey, Mia Fey, Mia Fey! You spitster! I was supposed to kill Maya Fey like I swore I would! And if only you had gone despite you had jerk the guilty verdict, I wouldn't have been hanged to death. True. But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You will never defeat me. But what? What did you say? Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all of eternity. I remember what you said early in the trial. You said that there was no way we could punish you, because you're already dead. What about it? Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, lives on forever. That's very true, Dahlia, and that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you will remain as Dahlia Hawthorne, a miserable, pathetic, weakling creature who can never win at anything. For you, there is no escape from there, no hope of freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burned to a crisp. You're wrong. It can't be. How could I lose to the likes of you? It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now. Not ready. Not ready to go. Sis. Now then, I assume you are the real Iris? Yes. I was just rescued from the sacred cavern. I must say, you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see. In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared out. Mr. Godo, what happened to Dahlia Hawthorne? If you ask me, Your Honor, it looks like she went back to hell. To the hell she came from. Yeah, we sent her back to hell! Woo! That's a victory. It seems that Mr. Fay wasn't the only victim of this crime. My Fay, as well as the young Pearl Fay, were also victims of a wicked and selfish plan. Yes, Your Honor, the tragedy of William Valley has finally come to an end, it seems. It would be best for everyone if no further attempt was made to channel that spirit again. True. Your Honor, yes, about this whole spirit medium thing, it's almost weird how comfortable you seem to the concept with the concept now. Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. He often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. That's why I made a concerted effort to study up on the crew-range handling technique. Hey, isn't that the New Year's issue of Occult? I've seen quite a few things in my many years on the bench, and in all that time, I finally learned this one thing. Each case is different and takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ. Never thought of it that way. At any rate, it's time to pass judgment. It's judgment in the case of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Of course, Godo. What have you got to say now, you You're a little too fast with that gavel, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Godo? This trial isn't over. Yep, there's one more thing. Someone died. That's the thing. Remember what Miss Evil Spirit said in her testimony? Huh? Dahlia's testimony. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger and I got from the storefront and bada bing. It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. I think I was stabbed. Someone still is dead. Just as Dahlia Hawthorne was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone. Yes, that's right. The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium that channeled Dahlia. At least in him, no, Misty Faye. But who killed her? Yep. We still don't know who did it. That's the thing. This isn't over. There's one loose end. We have to tie it all up. Unless someone else is found guilty, the accused is still on trial. We can't let her walk until there's evidence that proves her innocence. No way, after all of that. Yeah, it's still not over. The prosecutor is ready to call her final witness. Final witness? The one who will clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Faye. Indeed. Is it really alright, Mr. Prosecutor? Of course it is alright, Madam Attorney. Very well. Who is this final witness? Isn't obvious. There's one person who saw the whole event and will put the final dagger in this case. Someone who saw the murder take place. The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes. You mean Maya? She can't testify after what she's been through. We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Faye to the witness stand. Very well. But first, we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Miss Faye to recover before summoning her. Once we receive the doctor's permission, we will proceed with the trial. Hey, Wright, I've got something to say to you, so listen up. What is it? I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You somehow manage to just squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always comes in dashing in. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at the last minute to save you. You've got some nerve. But that's not going to help you this time. This time, you're going to have to do this by yourself. That's enough. This court is now in recess. Oy vey! Oh, it's still not over. Oh my god. This is... Oh. I'm exhausted. All these twists. All these turns. Oh. You were working so hard to defend me. But I was missing all day and we didn't have a chance to talk. You didn't meet that Iris. You met Dahlia instead. I wanted to at least be in the defender's box today to root you on. Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked out this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did? Huh? If you had tried to get help at the sacred cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there. My sister, I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by our mother and never got any love from our father either. Yes, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it? Yes, but at least I had Sister Bikini. She wasn't like a mother to me. If only Dahlia had come with me to Hazakura Temple. I always loved her. Dahlia was always so smart, so strong. She never complained about a thing. That's why I promised that I would help her. Are you talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago? Yes. I wanted to be useful to her in some way. But, as usual, I was too cowardly. At the last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Thot's half-sister Valerie ended up. That was the case that wounded Mia so badly. But things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder. Some people? You must mean, yes, two defense lawyers. Mia Fey and Diego Armando. After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting too close to learning the truth, Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had knowingly hid the poison for her. You. That's right. Iris. There's one more thing I have to ask you. Yes, what is it? On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, at least in him, was it really you? Yes, it was me. That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone. There's a problem. Come to the Inner Temple right away. I got on the snowmobile and headed for the Inner Temple. But the path to the Inner Temple was cut off, right? Exactly. We can't just leave the body here. Alright, let's do this, as you said. Whee! It was me. I was the one who received the body. The murder weapon had been left in her body, so she wouldn't bleed too much. The staff and Mr. Elise always held. Eesh. I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was a staff. Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hazakura Temple on the snowmobile. But why? Why did you alter the body? I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was a murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her with the shisha. I wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to the well, I can't speak. Iris, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called your cell phone, the real killer. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do that. I can't say who did it. I see. I'm very worried. The judge is calling you. He wants to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dahlia Hawthorne. Alright. Well then, I'll see you later. There's something I want to tell you later. Oh, okay. Something she wants to tell me. So it's true. Iris cooperated with the real killer. Maybe even from the beginning. Mia. How is Maya doing? Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely, but not emotionally. She's been hurt badly by this case. I see. Well, her mother's dead. I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew. But why? Maya's stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it. What do you mean by that? I want you to figure that out. That answer by yourself. The trial is about to restart. The real killer? Do you know who it is yet? I would tell me who called her, but I think that just maybe I know who it was. I don't know who it was. There's only like a couple of other people that I'm thinking of, and it can't be those. Which means the killer knew of Dahlia's farm from the beginning. No, it couldn't be. The criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means they were stuck on the inner temple side for almost an entire day. Exactly, so the criminal was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day. Who wasn't there? It can't. Oh my god. Don't tell me it is. I'll keep it to myself for the sake of just this playthrough, but I think I may have an idea of who did it. Oh dear. Oh dear me. This is gonna be another one of those, isn't it? Hey guys, anyway. Oh god. Oh, what a part. This is like an hour long. I'm sorry. I made this part hour long. But like that entire section, I didn't expect it to be as long as it was, but that entire section was just crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna have a rest. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. In the next part, we're gonna try and put it into all of this. Hopefully, anyway. And I'll see you guys later for some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. I need a drink.